Andy, I got the good chance to hear you speak and do a presentation to a packed room. And rightfully, you had a lot of good use cases. I think we talk about failure at times, and you weren't afraid to be vulnerable and show some of the failures and the things you learned from those failures and how you reinforced things based on scenarios and situations that happened in your place.
Thank you, Phil. I appreciate the plug there. I've done that session a few times now, both for EDU audiences and not EDU audiences. The basic premise, like you mentioned, is basically it's a list of real attacks that we've seen in our environment, both from insiders and students.
The other thing in your presentation, you actually did a full demo of and showed us kind of a real-time, one of the tools that you had used. What was that tool?
Yeah, so it's Evil Jinx. And that's what I referred to a minute ago, talking about doing MFA bypass attacks. And basically what Evil Jinx does is it does a man-in-the-middle attack or adversary in the middle, where, like a traditional phishing email, you'd send out a malicious link that you've crafted using Evil Jinx. And what the link will do is it will pull your organization's sign-in page, but keep its malicious URL. And so you see your sign-in page and you're putting in your credentials, and it'll do the MFA prompt. It'll do everything because it's going to Microsoft. It's just going through a site that's in control of the attacker. And so when you complete your MFA authentication, you put in your code, the attacker gets the session cookie that's created for you for your session. And so wrapping back around to what you talked about at the beginning about doing like session length, one of the things that we talked about a lot at the conference about overlooking is you've had a compromised account and you've disabled the account, you've reset the password, re-enabled the account. There are a lot of things that are in play there still for the attacker to have persistence. And so in our scenario, if our user visits a link that's Evil Jinx or something similar, captures a session cookie, and we detect that the account's been compromised and we just reset the password, that attacker still has control of the account because they still have that session cookie. So until that session times out, they are in control unless you intentionally revoke sessions. And if you don't do that as part of your normal triage, you have a compromised account, revoking sessions should definitely be one of those steps in the process.
So if you had a 30-day window for that session, the attacker basically would have 30 days to play around.
Yeah, so you reset that password on day one, but then they still have 29 more days. Wow. Of access before they get kicked out. Just being aware that those kinds of attacks exist is really the first step. It's like G.I. Joe, knowing is half the battle, knowing the things you're defending against. And so it's really simple. Once they have that cookie, there are Chrome and Edge extensions where you can basically just go and plug in a cookie and you have access as that person, as that identity. And it doesn't trigger as a sign in your Microsoft logs. Yeah. So, full bonus of double stealthy on the attacker's part.